Hello everyone. Today I'd like to talk to you about non-duality and consciousness. And I just have this burning desire, so to speak, to address a lot of misconceptions that I'm finding on YouTube with practitioners who claim non-dual awareness, enlightenment, ultimate reality, things of that nature. My problem with the majority of the content that I find is simply related to the fact that they all claim some sort of pure awareness or pure consciousness at the core of their understanding. And they all claim that the I does not exist, right? Because when we remove all thoughts, all that we have left is pure awareness. And this is false. Unfortunately, this is not a practitioner you should follow. Because there is no unmediated consciousness. There's no unmediated awareness. No unmediated contact with ultimate reality. And when you understand that, then you have a language that can touch the ultimate reality. There are, and I'm going to make this video extremely brief, 3 doors of liberation common to all forms of Buddhism all over the world. Emptiness, signlessness, aimlessness. When we touch emptiness, when we discuss emptiness, we mean that, and here's a story, if you bow to the Buddha, before you bow, you must understand, must have the insight that the Buddha is empty. And so are you, as the bower. So when I bow to the Buddha, I am aware. I am here with my body, here in the present moment, breathing. I am aware that the Buddha and I are both by nature empty of a separate self. Why? Because all forms are manifestations made of non-form elements. Every single form. We refer to this in the scriptures as dependent co-arising. I refer to it as dependent co-emergence. You can refer to it as mediated formality, right? Or mediated forms. To return to what I said in the outset, which was that all forms, all consciousness, all processes in this universe are mediated. There is no unmediated pure anything. And therefore, all things are empty. Because they are made up of each other. The one contains the all. That is non-duality. It is not a state to be attained. It does not reside in the emptiness of your thoughts. It does not reside in some sort of mechanics of the brain that create, or therefore you can locate, some pure awareness. It is the nature of reality itself. And if you can touch that reality, then you touch Nirvana. You touch the ultimate. The second door of liberation is signlessness. Signs is something very, very dear to me because I study signs and language, semiotics, right? The ways in which we generate utterances, and with those utterances we pair them to forms and reality, and we create signs that have symbolic value in our culture, right? We know that language is ambiguous. We know that reality is overdetermined. What does this mean? Causes are effects. Effects are causes simultaneously. Such that we can construct any relativistic frame of truth, but that truth is dependent upon its system, right? So truth, being relative, is dependent upon what you are defining and how your culture approves or disapproves of that definition. So let's give an example of a relative truth, right? Red means stop at a stoplight. You would say that's true, right? Not getting into a Kantian terminology of the cat is on the mat and trying to be funny in any sort of linguistic way, but purely saying mediated, right? But saying simply that in this culture, we define red lights as lights that signal a certain behavior, because at the end of the day, we don't want to disembody language. We don't want to disembody our experiences. It's what we do in a culture that gives meaning to our words. Wittgenstein. Voloshinov. Only language or the word is given electricity, right? Or is given a current in social intercourse. You only endow words with the light of meaning when they are taken up relationally. That's Voloshinov. So we don't speak of selves and others as if they are separate entities. We like to think of ourselves as an I, right? As something separate. But the I can only exist simultaneously with the other. And that is to say that reality is only approached through the eyes of the other. It comes to exist through the eyes of the other. Again, that contains both emptiness already and signlessness, which means that all forms are manifestations of non-form elements, of that non-form element, so that the flower contains the soil and the sun and the water and the cosmos, but is empty of a separate self, yet full of the cosmos. And as a form, as a sign, it will collapse from being into non-being. But being and non-being are inseparable. So when it collapses into non-being, it's a transformation. As some might have put it, a game of hide and seek. The last door of liberation is aimlessness, desire. And there are so many misconceptions that are not deep with respect to the notion of desire. Desire is a current that runs through language because it's an animal-directed activity in one sense. So you might say that I desire something because my desire is set to the desire of the desirer's desire. I desire what you desire because you desire it. Again, all attention, all consciousness being mediated by other consciousness. All awareness being mediated by others' awareness. So there is no foothold that we can obtain where our awareness or our consciousness is outside of one another or outside of the cosmos, outside of ultimate reality. But I say aimlessness because of a saying that I was taught, which was this: a wave does not have to look for water. The wave is already water. And when you understand that, when you can intuit, when you can touch that, then you understand and you are free. The wave is already water. I don't have to become any form. I am already all forms simultaneously. Which is why the Buddha is empty. And I can be free of the Buddha. I am not bound by Buddhism, by Christianity, by any forms. Because I contain all forms, and all forms are ephemeral and eternal. When you touch the ultimate, right, it is eternal because it has no beginning. And if it has no beginning, then it has no end. Thank you.